Welcome back to the Winning Hand podcast, the podcast all about Marvel Champions, one card at a time. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Boom Guy, and I am joined today by my trusty, faithful companion, Lazy Titan. What's up, man?
What is up?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? Been doing some champs?
A little bit, here and there.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk. There's a lot to talk about today. I know I say this all the time, listeners. We have a banger of an episode today. So let's just jump right into it. We are going to hit a content creator recommendation, which we haven't done in a couple episodes, but we are going to hit on that today. We are going to talk through the recent discussion point that's been all over Discord, this community rankings via PubMeeple. We're going to talk about that and share some of our rankings because I think that's fun. Then we have a listener email, and we're going to get into the card of the day. And at the end, I'm going to talk through a deck that I made using the card of the day. So you'll want to stick around to the end if you want to go through the deck tech with us. So that's a lot. Lazy Titan, are you ready?
I'm prepared.
Should we blast off?
We shall.
Okay, let's do it. So we will jump in and start right away with a content creator recommendation. Now, as I said, we haven't done this in a few episodes. There are only so many content creators. If you are a content creator and would like me to give you a shout out, hit me up. If you have heard of a recent content creator that you would like us to shout out, please also get in touch and let us know. winninghandpodcast@gmail.com or hit me on Discord. So today's content creator recommendation is for a podcast called the Stunned and Confused podcast. This is audio only, so you will not find them on YouTube. But if you're into audio podcasts and you are also into Marvel Champions, which I think covers a lot of you who are listening to this. Yeah, no kidding, right? Like that's kind of our lane. So if you're into that kind of thing, you might like these guys. Stunned and Confused, run by two guys named, I think, Jesse and Joe. One of them goes by Krautbammer on Discord. I don't know which one that is off the top of my head. Maybe it's Jesse. Anyway, so they have a podcast. They are, 12, 13, 14 episodes deep. I've been listening since the beginning, but I try to wait to do any recommendations because, channels come and go, and you're never sure who's going to stick around. But they have been doing this podcast thing and doing it well. They have kind of a quirky show. They do different stuff. They don't have like a consistent hook one card at a time like we do, but they do. They did a hero draft, kind of like a fantasy football draft type of thing. They have done deck building episode where they help each other build a deck. They talked about some the community rankings recently as well. So they've done a bunch of different stuff. It's kind of an eclectic mix. They have a unique energy. And as this is a family-friendly podcast, I do feel the need to say that they will drop the occasional F-bomb. So be prepared. If you wade into the deep waters that are the Stunned and Confused podcast, you better be able to swim because they do drop the occasional swear word. But it's very casual. It's very kind of hanging out with a couple of dudes in the garage talking about Marvel Champions, which is great. And I'm always a big fan of audio podcasts myself, so it's always nice to see when another channel comes out and they decide to not do video like we did for a long time until I ultimately succumbed to the peer pressure, and we now have a video option. All of you who are watching me on camera, I got you, but the ones who are listening, you're the real ones. Okay.
Always have been.
So, always have been, always will be. Lazy Titan, have you ever listened to the Stunned and Confused podcast?
I have not.
Okay. Well, are you a purveyor of fine podcasts?
I am.
Are you someone who happens to like Marvel Champions?
Possible.
Are you open to the occasional F-bomb?
I would say so.
Okay, well, listeners, if you have answered yes to all these questions just like Lazy Titan did, I may say that this is a channel you might enjoy. So please go check out Stunned and Confused anywhere you listen to podcasts. And again, not on YouTube, but Spotify, Apple, whatever pod app you use, they are surely there. So take a few minutes and go subscribe. And while you are in your pod app and searching for podcasts, what can they do, Lazy Titan?
Well, I would say you could leave a 5-star review on your favorite Marvel Champions podcast, The Winning Hand.
Which is not Stunned and Confused yet. It is still Winning Hand. So if you're already there, and you're already in the pod app, you might as well just leave 5 stars.
That's
and
right
while
there.
You're at it, maybe just add a few nice words.
Leave a review.
That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I know we say it all the time. It does help actually if you rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you're on YouTube, if you do subscribe and hit like and leave a comment, the algorithm just wants engagement. It doesn't care what kind it is. You can leave an angry comment, a happy comment. You can leave a bunch of emojis. I don't really care. If you leave a real comment, I do try to respond to those. But if you just want to get the engagement up and boost us and help out your favorite channel, then I got you. Thank you.
Say whatever you like, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, not too rude, I hope. But if that's how you feel, I'm here for it. Okay, let's talk about the next thing, which is a listener email. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read this email and then we'll talk about it, okay?
Deal.
So it says, Dearest Boom Guy and Lethus. We're already off to a rough start here. I have a soft spot for team-up cards. Thematically, they're awesome. And so many stories in the comics hinge upon a hero in trouble, but his ally arrives at just the right moment to turn the tide, and that feels epic and fulfilling. But I don't think Fantasy Flight have been able to capture this yet in the team-up cards we have. They're restricted in how and when you can play them, they're all max 1 per deck, and some of their abilities aren't punchy enough to make the trouble worth it. I dream about a day when team-up cards could become a new archetype or a build-around mechanic. I think the question, how would you redesign the team-up mechanic to be more fun, is probably too big a question to answer in 60 seconds of a podcast, so I'll ask a simpler one. What existing duo would you like to see a new team-up card added for? I'd love to see Rogue and Magneto team up, or maybe Phoenix and Cyclops team up with Cable. Thank you. They didn't leave their name, so thank you, listener, for leaving the email. I appreciate it. That is a big question. How would you redesign team-up mechanics to be more fun? That is a big question. We did do a deep dive where we did 4 episodes in a month about team-up cards. That was specifically kind of a Valentine's themed, I think in February of 24, maybe we did that.
Mm-hmm. We did all the love-themed ones.
We did all the love-themed ones, so like Young Love and, the Ant-Man and Wasp, which I later found out it's not a romantic, it's wrong Ant-Man and Wasp, but it's fine. We didn't know, it was ignorant. So I can't answer that huge question in 60 seconds of a podcast. You can answer the question, what is your favorite podcast, in 30 seconds or less. I guarantee that by leaving us a 5-star review. But let's move on from that. Let's talk about these team-up cards. What do you think, Lazy Titan?
First thing that popped to mind, Rogue and Anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of her whole thing. So I'm thinking a generic kind of maybe heal both characters, give them a tough card, something like that, of Rogue plus Anybody, because she obviously shares powers with anyone she wants to.
Yeah. I would like to see... So I think that's a cool idea. I would like to see some that are like not tied to specific characters. What if we had a generic Avengers team up, right? Or a Guardians team up. And then as long as you have, and we could even say printed, as long as you have the printed Guardian trait, so you don't get into honorary shenanigans where then anybody can play this team up card. I could be okay with that. If you have the printed Avenger keyword or the printed Aerial keyword, right? Why not have Falcon and Spectrum team up? Because they both have Aerial. That could be kind of cool. I'd like to see them maybe expand it a little bit beyond events. I think we talked about this back in those episodes a year and a half ago or whatever. Why can't they be upgrades? Why can't they be a preparation? Why can't they be something else? I don't know why they have to be events. But I think I share this listener's issues that they don't seem to be good enough to be worth all the trouble, right? It is difficult to make them land, and so they should feel more epic when you actually get them to land. I think one of the best ones, or at least one of my favorite ones, is the Fastball Special with Colossus and Wolverine, which is 1 cost, and then you deal the combined damage of each of their attacks, which can get crazy good. That's more in line with where I'd like them to fall. Like, I want them to feel punchy and fun, also thematic. But, okay, what else do you want to say about team-up cards?
I would say, as more of a classic answer to this question, I want to see Thor have a team-up.
With?
I'm not sure. It could be anybody. I'm feeling like Cap, like in the movies where they throw the shield, hit the hammer, do the shockwave.
Yes.
That's a classic. Could be with Iron Man, charges up his suit, does a super blast. Could be with Valkyrie, just a classic Asgard team
Thematic.
Up. Pretty good. I think it could be...
What about Rocket? That was in the movies. Him and Rocket went off on
an adventure. Rocket went on a little bit of an adventure. I could also see him, like we talked about, having a non-event kind of thing, giving him a sort of like, if he's combined with, I don't know, somebody like Hulk, giving him a wrapped in metal kind of thing where he just drops the hammer on somebody and they just stay there. And they
I like that.
They can't move because they got the hammer.
That's cool.
That's more of a specific Thor thing, but something like that. I think Thor is lacking, and he's one of the early characters that just never really got one.
Yeah, I think everyone knows that I'm gonna say Vision and Scarlet Witch, right?
Yeah,
That's just a classic thematic team up. I do think like Cap and Tony, that's a solid one right there.
For sure.
Cap and Bucky already have one. What about Cap and Falcon? Why don't they have one? Why don't Bucky and Falcon have one, if I'm honest?
Cap and Bucky, or Cap and Falcon, call it Captain America's.
Or Captain's America? I don't know.
However you want.
Either way, really. But Bucky and Falcon should have one. I just think there's so many opportunities for these. Why not Hulk and She-Hulk? Why not Hulk and Wolverine? Why not Deadpool and Wolverine? Like, once you just like open your mind up a little bit, there's a million of them. I know they would never do this, but I think would be super cool if they had they just released a pack of team-up cards. And I'm not the first one to think of this. I've seen this idea bandied about on Discord. But if they just did like a booster pack with team-up cards for a bunch of old heroes, like I would totally buy that. Like in a second.
Spider-Man and Miles?
Spider-Man and Miles. Thank you.
Miles and Thor. Lightning powers.
Miles and Thor. So now you're getting into more thematic stuff. I think they're great. I think, why not Rogue and Captain Marvel? Because I think that's where she got her powers. Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
right?
she got like permanent Captain Marvel powers.
That's not a bad deal.
Or Captain Marvel, Captain America. Both captains.
Captains. See? Captain, my captain. I think there's a lot of good choices. You could, I like the Phoenix and Cyclops with Cable because like that's their kid, right? Mm-hmm. And I do think that's another thing we could go. Like, why not? Why does it have to be 2 heroes and an event? Why can't it be a preparation? Why can't it be something else? Why can't it be
an ally?
3 heroes?
Why can't there be a Cable ally who is a team up between Jean and Cyclops?
That's not a bad idea. There is a Cable ally, but
like a team up ally.
Oh, I see. The team up card is the ally. Okay, now I'm with you.
Ally.
I like that. I think there's a lot of fertile ground here that they could go into. So I really hope they do more. We've been saying that for a while. We've been on the team up card train for a long time, so talking about how they just need to be better. So thank you for your email. I'm sorry I don't remember your name, but you know who you are, and that's really what matters. Okay. Now let's talk about not the big thing of the day, because the big thing of the day is obviously the episode, but we are going to talk about the community rankings. Now, if you are not aware, the community rankings are on this website called Pub Meeple, which I think started as just a generic board game ranking website and it's expanded to a bunch of other things. And you can make custom lists, which is why we have this Marvel Champions one. Someone made a list. And then as long as everyone uses the same link for that list, it puts them all together in a big ranking. If you are not familiar with Pub Meeple, I will have a link in the description so you can check it out yourself. Please go do the rankings if you haven't already. The way it works is it takes a list of all the things, and which in this case is heroes, Marvel Champions, and it gives them to you one at a time. So you it's a versus head-to-head battle. You just pick which one you like better, and then it ranks it. And then it just gives you however many of these,
a couple
hundred, keeps giving them to you until the algorithm has determined that you have a sufficient ranking, and then it puts them all in order. So I did it. I think you did it too, right? Let's dive in.
I did as well.
Okay, so we're going to talk about our own rankings, but we're going to talk about the community rankings first because I think those are very interesting. So let me share this on my screen so that people who are watching this can follow along. And I just want to kind of get some of your reactions. Like, what do you think about this? So here we are. You can see there's 233 rankings as of today. So champions, heroes through wave 9. The number 1 hero, it tells you the rank, who the hero is. It tells you the overall score, which I don't know exactly what that score means, and then the number of times it was ranked. So some of them were ranked more than others. As you're going through, you can skip or you can delete certain ones. In my rankings, for example, I deleted from the ranking the ones I haven't played before. Didn't feel right to rank those, so I have a few less than everybody else.
I didn't.
So, attaboy. Okay, so number 1 is X23 and has a combined score of 70.2. So I think that's pretty good. I'll just read like the top 10 here and we'll kind of talk about those. So number 2, SPDR. Number 3, Cable. Number 4, Captain America. Number 5, Cyclops. Number 6, Winter Soldier. Number 7, Magic. Number 8, Wolverine. Number 9, Magneto. And number 10 is Storm. So, what do you think about this, top 10 that the community has? And again, I don't think this is power. I did it as like fun. So if other people did it as power, I don't know, but I think it's mostly like what you just like to play more. So what do you think about that top 10?
Couple
which jumps
things.
out at you.
First of all, crazy top 10. Absolutely wild. Frankly, out of pocket. Number 2, if this is a power ranking, because I also did it by preference of hero. If this is a power ranking, it's even stranger. Even crazier.
Well, I don't think it is. We're going to treat it as just preference.
Number 3 seems to be very recency weighted. A lot of these heroes are within the last few years. The obvious exception being Captain America, and honestly SPDR at this point. The rest of these heroes are from the X-Men wave or later. So seems like people aren't giving a lot of love to those older heroes, and that kind of sucks. It's a lot of these heroes. I also just looking because on the screen here we can see the top 24 there.
The top 25 on the screen.
I'm seeing a distinct lack of the correct answer.
Well, don't spoil yours. We're gonna get to ours in a second. So let's just stick here. I think that top 10, I agree with you, is very so. What jumps out at me right away is Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier's been out for a month, not even, and he's number 6. That to me seems crazy. I don't even. I mean, maybe people have had enough plays with Winter Soldier to put them that high. I'm a little surprised about that. I do agree that they are all there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 10 are mutants. That's. I do know the X-Men are super popular, so there's some recency bias there, but I also just think they're really, really popular. The X-Men got a lot of people into the game, I think. They're just a really popular team, so I totally get that on the theme side. SPDR, I'm a little surprised she's ranked that highly. She's very unique, which could be divisive, but I guess it's not. I guess the community likes SPDR. X23, I'm not surprised about at all. I think X23 is really, really strong and has a pretty... simple and satisfying gameplay loop, right? It's just ready and destroy things, destroy schemes, destroy enemy. She's just really, really good. If we were making a power list, I'd probably put her near the top. So I think there's some power in that, but I don't know. It's an interesting list. I think. Captain America is the oldest one. There's no core set. I'm trying to see where the first core set. Okay, the first core set hero is Iron Man at number 14,
which is pretty good. When's the next one though?
Spider-Man Peter Parker at 19. I'm surprised that Peter Parker is not the most popular core set hero. To be honest, I think if you had make me guess, I would have guessed that.
Iron Man's arguably more powerful, so I think maybe that gives him some points. Iron Man's very, very strong once you get him going.
Are there any on this top 10 or even this top 25, the page we're looking at, that you just seems wild to you? Either you have them way lower or something?
Yes. I have, I won't say the exact number, but Bishop is a lot lower for me. Bishop at 17 is crazy. I've played Bishop 2 times, and even the second time, I didn't want to play him again. I was just I'll try him.
We're going to talk about our top 10 and bottom 10. So, spoiler alert, I will be talking about Bishop again in
As
one
will
of
I.
those. I'm not going to share which one. I'm a little surprised, the mix. There's such a mix here of heroes, right? On the one hand, I see heroes like Magic, who are an SPDR, are very complex. A lot of different moving pieces. But then I also see Wolverine and Captain America, who are
an X-23,
some
honestly,
of the most straightforward heroes. I think X-23 is a little more complex than Wolverine is, or Cap.
For sure.
Not Magic level, but Cap is one of the most straightforward heroes, right?
You just play cards.
You just play cards. If you don't want to play them, you can just discard them to ready. That's it. And Wolverine is just you want to play attack events, you can just play them cheaper using your health. That's it. Just attack. And certainly that's reductive and you can do more. You can do all kinds of builds with both of them, but they are pretty straightforward and linear to a degree that Magic and SPDR are just not. So I'm surprised that both of those in the top 7. That seems kind of crazy to me.
I will also say, aside from X-23, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine, these are very board-heavy characters. Characters that like to build a big board, which is not surprising to me. I think the average Marvel Champions player loves to play a slow, kind of snowball-y game where they slowly build. I think a lot of people even play Wolverine that way.
Yeah.
X-23, I think, can play that way as well because she just has a lot of upgrades to play out. SPDR very much. Cable maybe the most so. He just keeps spamming side schemes until you eventually your Mind Blast, whatever, is insane. Cyclops and Storm are obviously very ally spammy often. Winter Soldier, I again don't know exactly how he's shaping out. He doesn't seem like a huge board state kind of character. Seems like with his arm and his mask, you're pretty much good to go. But that is definitely a leaning I'm seeing here early.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that someone like Spider-Woman is way down at 25. I think the double aspect thing seems to be popular. I see a lot of Spider-Woman decks built constantly, so I'm a little surprised that she is that low. But yeah, Scarlet Witch at 11, Ironheart at 12. Like, these are just, I mean, these aren't a direct power ranking, but these top 12 heroes are pretty strong, I think.
For sure. I think these top 12 heroes, only a couple of them wouldn't make the top 50% of most powerful heroes on my ranking.
Oh, top 50% of that top 10, I think they would all make it.
Of the top 12, I guess? Yeah, no. They'd probably all make it there. I don't know about Winter Soldier. He's a little...
He's new. I have not played Winter Soldier yet, to be honest. I've seen him played a couple of times. We played the campaign with Winter Soldier and Falcon. Unfortunately, I had the short straw and played Falcon.
Don't put it like that. You elected to play Falcon.
That's
not
true.
only that, but you played Falcon, decided to not play Falcon. We slept on it and went back, and then you decided to play Falcon again.
Yeah. Yeah, he really called to me. I'm very disappointed by Falcon. I've talked about that. He called to me and it just didn't work out. You know, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I have been proven wrong on some other heroes, and we're going to talk about that when we get to our lists. But there's some that are very high for me that I poo-pooed early on, so maybe Falcon will do a U-turn. I don't expect it right now. I'm going to skip over kind of the middle here. We're just going to skip to the end, and I just want to point out that so this score, I'm not entirely sure what the score is, but the score of 70.2 for X23, and essentially Ant-Man at number 13 is 60.2. There's a difference of 10 in those like top 13.
I would guess it's percentage of people who picked it over something else.
It could be, but just keep that raw number in mind because let's skip to the end. Here we are looking at the
those
bottom
3 are
10.
not surprising.
But the gap between the bottom 2 and the third from bottom is 10 points. It's actually 10.5. It's actually bigger than the gap between 1 and 13. So I think the community has agreed that there are 2 heroes in their own tier at the very bottom. And no prizes for anybody who can guess this. It's Hulk at 60 and Valkyrie at 61. I mean, we'll get to the other top 10 in a minute, but I'm not surprised that those are the bottom 2. I guess you can really put them in any order, but I'm not surprised about that. What about you?
No, not at all. Even Groot, I know people poo-poo Groot a lot. I wouldn't personally put him that low. But
why don't you just read the bottom 10 for us?
So bottom to
From
top,
bottom
I
up.
suppose. So Valkyrie at the bottom, Hulk, then Groot, then we have Spectrum, who's I would say a little surprising. Hawkeye, Deadpool, Nebula, She-Hulk, Wasp, Adam Warlock, and Spider-Ham at 51. Aside from Spider-Ham, I think we can see a very sharp difference in the power level of these versus the top 10.
Yes.
So there is definitely a bias of people's favorite characters towards stronger heroes. Not necessarily the strongest heroes, but there is a level of power that heroes kind of need to have seemingly to be a favorite.
Yeah.
Exceptions to this are, I guess, Spider-Ham, who's, I would say, top 10 heroes in the game.
Oh,
easily.
Yeah. In terms of power.
And Deadpool, who I think is quite powerful. But I think is just down here because of his bit is kind of divisive. The whole fourth wall, talking to the camera bit can be annoying.
Which he shares with
Spider-Ham as well. And his play style, I think people immediately solved the best way to play that, the best way of just do this card is fire and do the thing. And I think people kind of threw him to the wayside, myself included. Those are only 2 that are really shocking. The rest of these I probably could have read. I could have told you from memory. These are pretty...
I mean, some of them I think just have to do with, like, they are just considered weaker, right? I think those bottom 2, I think Groot and Hawkeye and She-Hulk and Wasp. I know all of those heroes have their defenders, and I like a bunch of those heroes, actually myself quite a bit, but I think people just consider them to be weak, and I think some of them can feel frustrating. I know Hawkeye is among the weakest, I think people would say, right? He's really squishy, doesn't have a ton of lot going on outside of his arrows.
No way to
which can
protect
be
himself.
Difficult. I guess I'm not surprised by many of these. I mean, Adam Warlock has a really weird deck building.
I think
hook,
Adam Warlock
which-
is here simply for convenience.
Yeah.
I
He's
also
frustrating to build.
put Adam Warlock pretty low just because it's a chore to build and often not worth it. He's not super powerful. He's not like bad by any means, but the task of building an Adam Warlock deck versus the payoff of playing an Adam Warlock deck is just not worth it. The juice is just not worth the squeeze.
Yeah, Adam to me is also just not super interesting. I haven't played a bunch of Adam Warlock, and teaser for the end of the episode here. The deck I built for the card of the day, I did use Adam Warlock, so I've been playing a bunch of Adam Warlock recently, testing this deck out. He's not super interesting to me. Like, his main hook revolves around discarding cards from hand to do his ability on his hero card. And you discard an aspect card to get a benefit, which is fine. But essentially, you're just not really playing any of those cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just tossing it away, and it could be anything. He doesn't really care, and you only can have one copy of every card, so he ends up being a little like archetype agnostic anyway. He just wants to play his own stuff and discard everything else, and to me that's not super satisfying.
I like the gimmick of a discard based hero. In this game, discard as like a play style is kind of hard to do just because cards are resources, right? So he has those two cards that give him cards back when you discard a card, which makes it either able to go even or positive on resources by doing his ability. Really, it only feels good to do if you have that. Otherwise, it's just sort of a resource sink for spare stuff.
Yeah.
But his whole thing, I guess, is supposed to be that he's kind of bringing all the aspects together and kind of embodying all of them. But like you said, he kind of feels like he's embodying none of them because you're just pitching them for effects to play your cards. And probably because you only have one copy, you're just playing the best cards from every aspect. You're just playing probably all 4 spells. You're playing
the best allies.
The best allies. You're playing the one that gives you a resource and leadership. You're playing, I don't know, from aggression, you're probably just picking a couple allies because they're not super good without each other. Justice, you're picking like infiltration, stuff like that. And then protection, you're just taking like a defiance and a couple defense spells, and then you just have that. That's just what you have.
Yeah, we are going to talk about our lists, but before we do that, I would like you to pick one of these heroes on this bottom 10 and give us like a quick sell on why someone should love this hero and give it a try. Like, if you're new to the game and you're listening to this podcast, welcome, by the way. Go leave a 5-star review. But when you come back, we're going to give you just like a quick highlight of one of these that we actually think is undervalued here and you should try out. So pick one of them and give me a few sentences on why they're awesome and I should try them.
Easy pick for me, Deadpool. Deadpool actually is in my top 10. Ooh. He is, like I said, like many of everyone else, looked at him, said, wow, that's a cool gimmick, never again. I did it once, it wasn't fun, shocker, and then went for it. And then kind of also his bit can be annoying. Like, the movies are funny, but it's a sense of humor that I think you have to share with the character of Deadpool to be able to do it right. So sometimes people who don't have the same sense of humor as Deadpool, he just is annoying. Like, he's just a guy he's just Captain Obvious then, who just like looks at the camera every time something crazy happens. Like, sure, but like any good bit, like any good joke, you have to lean in for it to be funny. So I've talked about Deadpool a couple times pretty recently in the podcast. That's how I've found is the most fun to play Deadpool. You have to just lean in. People like myself saw acceleration tokens in the main scheme and said, yikes, that's bad. That's not good. He boosts me for that, but so all his cards are bad because they based on a bad thing. Take damage, that's funny, haha. Just die all the time. It's super easy to do, and it's actually kind of fun. It's fun to just like play your Yoo-Hoo card, kill yourself, thwart for like 7, flip down, recover, and then flip back up and kill yourself again. Like, it doesn't, just keep doing it. Who cares? Like, it doesn't. And then once you get to like those super high numbers, like his thwarting is pretty good. And especially if you play him in Justice, I know you have a very popular Justice deck in Deadpool that can take advantage of that. You can eventually he has a card called Exhausting Personality, which lets you either put an acceleration to stun and confuse the villain, or you can someone can exhaust their identity to draw cards equal to the acceleration tokens.
Insane.
Which, if you're playing Deadpool right, is like 7 cards.
Yeah,
at least.
It's crazy.
You can get 7 to 10 cards like pretty cleanly, which is so much. Like that's crazy value. Just be like, hey, sacrifice 2 thwart to get another 2 other hands for most heroes.
Yeah.
He's more fun when you lean into it. I've played him in aggression with the Now I'm Mad. So the build is all about just staying at low health because you just die, flip over, flip back, die again, flip over, flip back. And you can just attack for your high damage. I know you've played him in Justice with stuff. You can play him in Protection and just defend for people. You can defend for as many people as you can, and on the last defense, you just throw yourself in front of the villain and die and flip down. You can also ready for a fight, so you can play that, die, then he attack or would scheme on somebody else, flip back up, he attacks you, and then die again. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
They just like the power of Deadpool is that you can't die except for some very specific encounter cards that can get you. Like Juggernaut has some things that can deal direct damage. I found out the hard way that Drang has a couple of those cards as well.
Yeah. Or attack you in alter ego. If anything attacks you in alter ego, like you
die.
Can die there. So
but that's part of the risk, right? It's kind of like Wolverine where you're running that like the gambit of I think I can do this faster than you can kill me. And
100%.
It's more fun to do it that way.
I think Deadpool is a ton of fun. I recently played a Deadpool game and, started an alter ego. Drew my 6 cards. Moira McTaggart, I flipped up and drew a 7.
Great for him.
I flip all the time with him, so she's great. Then I used iPack, which is a card I don't use a ton. Took an encounter card, draw 2 more cards. Played Exhausting Personality for 8 cards. Then played Bring It for 5 more cards. And then you have like 20 cards in your hand.
You do whatever you want.
Then you go crazy. So like
you can also
that is just fun. Drawing 20 cards is fun.
Tons of ways to use all those fun X-Men supports that are in your alter ego side.
Yes.
Like Weapon X lets him draw more Deadpool cards. He also has a way to find his cards. You can always find Exhausting Personality and stuff. This card is Fire is a lot more fun when you just play it sometimes and don't just like spam it.
Yeah.
That's more interesting.
And I don't do the symbiote suit with him.
Yes,
so I limit my health to just what he has.
You want to die. That's the point.
Yeah.
Being high health doesn't matter. He has his chimichanga truck, which lets him or someone else recover without exhausting or recover twice. So he can recover, and because he has 8 recovery with his base health, you just recover, you're back to full, and then you flip up and you're ready. Now you can Exhausting Personality, you can chimichanga. It's just such a fun. You can basically play an alter ego deck while being in hero form. So it's kind of like Nick Fury, where you can prevent scheming, but it's the opposite. By just you die.
I think no, that's good. You I said short, but you went off. You sold me on Deadpool. I didn't really like Deadpool that much.
I like Deadpool a lot, and I think Deadpool has reshaped my view of the game of Marvel Champions and how to play it and build decks for it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do the same thing that you did. I'm going to pick one of these. A couple of these we are going to talk about because I like 3 of them are in my top 10. So I don't know what that says about me, but
I think we know.
Okay. Yeah, we know. I'm a little bit of a contrarian, but let me talk about one that isn't
in my top 10.
I'm going to pick one that isn't in my top 10 that we were not going to talk about in a minute. I'm going to talk about Wasp. I think Wasp is maligned for a bunch of reasons. First of all, she isn't Ant-Man. And I think that's the biggest thing that holds Wasp back. I think a lot of people, especially as the game came out early on, you got these 2 heroes, you played Ant-Man, and it was like flip and do stuff and flip and do stuff. But that's not really what Wasp wants to do. I think Wasp rewards you. Wasp wants you to find the form you want to be in and be in that form because they do different things. She isn't meant to flip back and forth. That's not what she does. She's meant to go to the form to get the ability that you want. Do you want piercing? Do you want to do a little bit of, ping damage when you kill something? Do you want to spread your attack and thwart out? Like, she has different cards that do different things, and for her, it's about picking the form you need to be in at the right time and doing that. And I think if you do that, and a lot of people lean into her alter ego ability, which is surely really, really good. There's new stuff all the time. I saw Jossaru put an awesome deck together about using Wasp and Multiple Man and Serve and Protect, which is kind of a divisive card, but essentially, you have to exhaust an X-Men and an X-Force character in order to give them each a tough card and prevent any threat from being placed on a scheme. Well, multiple man is a mental resource, so if you're an alter ego, you can easily flip down and cycle them back, which is where you need them to be because you have to pull them out of the deck. So then you just play multiple man, and you're using Children of the Atom to make them all every X team, and then Serve and Protect can hit. It's a clever little interaction. Joss Rue, shout out to you. He's been on the podcast a number of times. He makes great little combo decks. Awesome guy too. So, but there's a bunch of different stuff you can do with the Wasp. I think she has a ton of cool abilities, and I think she gets slept on just because she's not Ant-Man, which isn't fair. She's not Angel either. Like the triple heroes, Angel and Ant-Man share a lot of DNA, but Wasp is very much not that. Give Wasp a try if you haven't tried her in a while. I think she's fun and has some rewarding play lines. That's the one I'll pick out of the bottom 10. I think I'm not surprised really by many of these. I'm a little surprised.
Spectrum, I'm honestly a little surprised.
Oh, well, spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about Spectrum in a minute.
Spectrum is one I would expect to be at like straight in like the 34 spot, just like dead center middle of like, I didn't expect her to be so divisive because to me, she's just so mid.
Well, we're going to get there. Let me, just before we jump in, I want to talk about each of our favorite heroes, who I think your favorite is, and everybody knows who my favorite is. My favorite, Vision, is down here at 48, which is criminal. That is a travesty. I cannot believe he rates below Falcon at 47, Ogre at 46, War Machine at 45. This is unbelievable.
And Bishop at 17.
Yeah, he's underneath all those.
I think Vision is a little bit lower than I would expect him to be. I would have expected him also in that same spectrum range of like somewhere between 29 and 35, just like kind of in the middle. I don't think he's necessarily, I mean, he's a little lower than I expect. I don't think he's criminally low personally, except for some of the garbage that you people have put above Vision. Vision
Falcon?
isn't great. I would put Falcon over Vision personally, but there's a lot of these heroes that I would not put over Vision. Bishop included. Bishop is a travesty.
He's like 30 spots. I mean, I just can't. So anyway, that's it. And I think I know your favorite is. I don't want to spoil it, but I know you're a big fan of Drax. He's at 42. That also feels.
But I'm not
to be honest, I don't know if I'd have put Drax that much higher. I want to see where I rank him. Okay, let's jump to ours. How about that?
I think Drax is personally, obviously, he's my number one, but I think I'm not surprised that the community puts him low. I think every time I say Drax is awesome, it's a little bit contentious. People don't always agree with me. You're wrong, but you're welcome to think that you're not.
But you say Drax is awesome, and they say, he's 42. I say Vision's awesome, and they say he's 48. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. I can't get over it. Let's go to the next. Let's just talk about ours. Now, I don't have a list I'm going to share for each of ours, so... do you want to start with the top 10 or bottom 10?
Let's start with the bottom 10. Let's get the bad news out the way first.
Right. Let's get them out of the way. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay, go first. Why don't you read me, sir, your bottom 10? And keep in mind, we each may have different amounts. I didn't rate anybody that I haven't played, so there are a couple that are just short. I only have 57 on my list. So
I rated all of them. I don't care. There's only like one I haven't played.
You're a loose cannon. All right,
and
give me your bottom 10.
That one is in this bottom 10. Bottom one, Hulk. Hulk is bad. He's not super fun. Never has been. Probably never will be. That's just what it is. It's not Hulk's fault. It's a little bit of a design kind of issue. We've talked about Hulk. Number 60 is Wasp. I very much dislike Wasp. I do not like her. That's just me.
Did I sell you? I tried to talk. Did I sell you into trying Wasp?
I think her alter ego ability is like kind of a trap. I don't think it's super interesting. I think her ability is terrible. Her splitting ability is effectively a blank card. Her tiny form is interesting, but it's just not good. Number 59 is Shuri, Black Panther. This is the one that I have not played.
Oh, okay.
I've seen played, and I have never been interested. In fact, when Shuri came out, when she was being revealed, I was like, oh, it looks interesting. And then when the cards came out and I read them, I just actually more interested in going back and playing the original Black Panther, who I had a lot more fun with. Shuri, I think, is kind of meh. Now, in his rightful spot, number 58, Bishop. I'm a Bishop hater. I do not like Bishop. He's not fun. It's just resource flood, and you end up with nothing. I'm aware there's ways you can build around that. You can play Lockjaw. You can do stuff. To me, it's not a fun play pattern. His most fun card is his defense card and his armor. His armor thing where you can discard your cards, then heal back up is cool. That's fine. That's kind of all I remember from his kit. Honestly, I don't even remember what else he
The
does.
defense card's a trap, but keep on, keep on.
Number 57, Adam Warlock. Again, just annoying. I just don't play Adam Warlock that much. And every time I do, I'm like, wow, that wasn't worth the time. And I spend more time than the game takes to like think of a good deck. And it's not worth it. 56, She-Hulk. She's not one I play super often. I think she has gotten a little more life from Ready for a Fight. I have not tried that personally myself. She's fun. A lot of her stuff is just core set. It's just she's kind of lost it to power creep. She was never like great, but she's definitely fallen to the wayside. Number 55 for me is Psylocke, who falls to me in the same Adam Warlock category of not worth the squeeze. She feels like SPDR, but they did even more nonsense with it. And the idea of flipping between the knives and the katanas and manage like the resources you need is like a lot of work. And every time I read her cards, they don't do as much as I would want them to do. Like if you go all in on one thing, they're like fine. But if you split it up, they're like borderline bad a lot of times. It's like a confuse, two thwart, and draw a card for 3 resources, which is like fine, but like, not super excited. And this one I think you're going to be a little bit mad about. Number 54 is Captain America. This is a personal preference rating. I don't like Cap that much. Part of that is because I play most of my games with you, and you often get Cap before I can ever touch him, so I haven't really played Cap in a
Big
minute.
Cap fan here.
Because
Big
I've seen
fan.
Cap played a lot of times. I've seen Cap played so many times. He's very straightforward. He doesn't interest me a lot. He's good. He's strong. He will always be solid because his cards are just good, but he's not. Never really pulls me to build a Cap deck.
Okay.
Right above that, 53 is Captain Marvel. I don't love it. A lot of her old cards just kind of meh. She's fine. Her alter ego ability is really good. Her hero ability is also pretty good, but it's just not the most exciting. Now, this one's going to get the people cooking. Number 52, Valkyrie.
Okay.
I like Valkyrie.
Yeah.
She's
not
not good.
that much. She's in your bottom 10, but
Oh, no, she's in my bottom 10, but she's above the last 9 heroes I just mentioned.
That's true.
She's fine. She's not good, but I think the Death Glow is kind of fun. I think if you're expecting to like build and get this like crazy combo with like minions, that's not what she does. She just kind of does like generic good value of just like put the Death Glow in a thing, do it. You have a decent hand size, but you're often taxed for the Death Glow for it costs a lot to kind of do it a lot. Her minion pulling card is the coolest one in the game because you get to pull from the discard pile as well.
it is good.
So you get to pick whichever one you want, which is super cool, and then draw 2 cards. It's very good. But her other stuff is all just so tied to minions that it's really hard. And if there's no minions, she kind of falls apart.
Okay. That is
And
your
then-
bottom 10?
Is that bottom 3, 6, 9, 10? Yes. I was going to go to 51, so right above that.
All right. I will give you my bottom 10, bottom up. So the last one is Hulk.
Yep.
I don't need to say a ton about Hulk. I think for me, those bottom 2 of the communities that are the same for me. I just, maybe it's me. I just fundamentally think those 2 don't really work. And I know everybody out there, there's 4 of you that are yelling at your computer saying, nope, I have this cool Valkyrie deck, or like, nope, I have this cool Shield Justice Hulk deck. That's fine. I've seen all those decks. Yes, you can make them both playable, but I just fundamentally think both of them have a kit that is working against itself, and they just don't really work very well. And frankly, I'm over Hulk. I'm over it. I'm not a huge Hulk fan thematically. I'm over trying to make it work. I just think it doesn't work. Maybe they'll reinterpret it someday and we can get a better version. Number 56, Valkyrie. Same thing. I just kind of touched on both of them. Then right above that, I have Bishop. Not a big fan of Bishop. I think his play pattern is boring. I just think the whole thing about take hits, discard cards, put resources in your hand, heal with your suit, use your rifle, and then find a way to recur Lockjaw 8 times a game is just not that fun. So I think all of his event cards are just very plain and just like, damage, draw a card, or whatever. I just think those are really basic. His allies are boring, whatever. Above that, I have 4th from bottom. I have Spider-Ham. I'm not a Spider-Ham fan. I just think he's too good. Then I have Falcon. We've talked ad nauseum about Falcon. Not for me. Above that, I have, this might be a contentious one. I have Miles Morales at 6 from bottom. I don't think Miles is very fun. It's
I have
for
him
me.
higher, but I can see that. His play pattern is weird.
I just, it doesn't work for me. I know people say he's good, and I'm sure you can make him work. Every time I've tried it, it's just isn't very fun to me. I don't really enjoy it, so that's just me. Then I have Nebula. Same thing. There are some Nebula stands out there, and they will die on the hill that Nebula is fun. I'm glad those people have Nebula. It's not for me. Maria Hill is interesting. She feels very strong, but also like I'm doing a Sudoku puzzle. And instead of playing Marvel Champions, I just feel like I'm shifting this, then this counter, and then this, and then this, and this. And it's like I'm just doing a bunch of stuff, and I don't know. It ends up being the same result. I just play the Pericles or play her other big ships, and it's kind of, it's hard to build her without the big ships, is what I found. Like nobody else can really play the big ships, and she can't really play without them, like at least a couple of them. So it's not for me. Then I have Doctor Strange. It's just like we've all talked about Doctor Strange for 5 years. He's boring. And then She-Hulk. She-Hulk snuck into the bottom 10 for me. I think there's some fun decks with She-Hulk. They just don't really work for me. And I will say about overall in these rankings for me, in terms of enjoyment, I think either end of these has some like outliers that are like really, really strong or really, really weak. And then like the middle, whatever, if you take out like the top 5 and bottom 5 in terms of just like power, I think they're all very similar in the middle. Like everything else is not that separate.
There's the clear losers like Hulk and Valkyrie, and there's the clear winners like Doctor Strange and Spider-Ham. All of which were in your bottom 10.
Yeah. So that's me. Okay. Then I'm going to go first on the next one, the top 10.
Go ahead.
This is going to be a longer episode, folks. We haven't even gotten to the card yet. We're almost at an hour. So a little bit longer, but this is something interesting to talk about. My top 10, no points for anyone guessing my top. I'll just read them 1 through 10. And then, for our top 10, let's do it a little differently. Just read them. Don't talk through each one.
Okay.
Just read the list. So I'll read you my list, and then I want you to pick like what jumps out at you as like, that's surprising. What is unexpected for you, and then I'll do the same for you. So you read your 10 and I'll give you the one that to me like is just not the one I would have guessed for you or what's really surprising. Here we are, starting number 1. Vision, Captain America, Beastman, Colossus, Magneto, Jubilee, Deadpool, Ghost Spider, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot.
I did not see Magneto on there. Everything else adds up for you. Magneto, I wouldn't have expected. I know you've been playing Magneto a lot recently. I would not have expected him to be on the top 10. I would have expected him to be top 15 or 20, but that one feels like a spot that was, especially at number 5, higher than Rocket.
Yeah. And number 11, I will say, because I said we were going to talk about it later, 11 is Spectrum.
That's crazy.
Some of this is recency bias. Some of this, like, I'm telling you, if I did this again tomorrow, they would not be the same. And I've talked a lot about, to me, there's like a few at the very top that I just think, yeah, those are like solid. Those are my top heroes. And then there's like a top third, middle third, and bottom third. And then there's like the very bottom, like Hulk and Valkyrie and Bishop are always down there. But like in the top third, you're 7 one week, you're 12 or 18 the next week. Like they fluctuate for me. Depends on what I've been playing recently, what I've been enjoying, whatever. So they move around. Nothing is totally static. A couple of these really recent ones, Magneto, Jubilee, and Deadpool are all pretty recent. I've really enjoyed them.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't expect to see Deadpool on yours either.
He's
this one's
really
on
grown
both
me,
of our
man.
top 10, actually.
Yeah. I've grown to really enjoy him in every aspect. I think he's really fun. Okay, give me your top 10. I want to hear.
Number 1, no
Let's
shocker, Drax. Easy. Number 2, Nick Fury. Number 3, Nova. Number 4, Ironheart. Number 5, Thor. Number 6, Shadowcat. Number 7, Deadpool. Number 8, X-23. Number 9, Angel. And number 10, Iron Man.
Biggest surprise for me, I have to say, is Nick Fury at 2. That's crazy. That's really. I wouldn't have thought he was that high, man. I know you played him at the con a lot. You had a ton of fun with him. I would not have put him that high. That's surprising.
I played Nick. The gimmick of that Nick deck was that I had never played Nick before, so I just built a deck having seen it and brought it to the con, and it was awesome. Every time I talk to somebody on Discord, somebody mentions the Nick deck and how
People
much
are still
they like
talking
it.
about it.
It's so cool. I love it. I played it probably the most of any deck at the con because it's not like ridiculous, but it's very good and it's very solid, and it sets up a good pace. It on its own can kind of carry the pace of a Marvel Champions game of like, I'm going to do a lot of damage and some thwart to keep us rolling. So like at the con, we can kind of all talk about Marvel Champions and play the game and blah, blah, blah. And then the game will end we won't feel like it's dragging. I've never played a game with Nick where it felt like, wow, we're really slogging this. It's just like, it's over when it's supposed to be over. We had a good time. It's great. And it's just super fun. It's the game of making sure that you flip down at the end of every turn and putting marked on ally or on minions to then hit them for the huge hits with the overkill. It's always fun. It's always interesting to decide what minions to kill and what not to. And then it has also like the minion collector thing, which is fun. So you have Bring It, and doesn't fix, it's slightly different, but one of my biggest problems with my number 3, Nova, is that you can kind of take over the table and like quarterback everybody into getting your perfect turn. Nick doesn't need that. He just needs like one minion on the board to do his big overkill thing that he's going to do. And sometimes you can do it twice in a turn. And then everyone else just kind of does whatever they want. It's super fun. I have played Nick a couple times in other aspects. And I have been looked at stuff for him. He's just really cool. He immediately jumped out to me when he was spoiled. I knew immediately he was going to be my favorite of the two, but he's shot up my list pretty fast.
Yeah, a quick interjection there. Bring It is becoming one of my favorite cards in the entire game.
It's dope, dude.
It's such a good card. But anyway, yeah, I'm a little surprised about dope. Nick in your top 10. That just feels really high, like he's new, but and Iron Man at 10? I mean, I know you like Iron Man.
I do like Iron Man. I'm honestly surprised to see him at 10 as well. War Machine's at 14. He eked out War Machine at 14.
Ooh, okay. War Machine.
Colossus I have at 13. A lot of these ones. Rocket's my number 11. He's right there.
Same. A lot of those are a lot of this. Yeah.
A lot of the same. And then everyone else in the middle is kind of there. Magneto is my 26.
War Machine is also my 14th.
War Machine is the 14th best hero in the game.
It's official. It's official.
But yeah, Iron Man, I've always liked a good value building engine kind of style, and Iron Man does that super well. It's a little clunky just because of card design, because it's one of the first heroes, but just
he's grown
build the suit, flip, do a thing. And then also because he has so many interesting cards like Pepper and the Stark Tower, you can build all kinds of crazy stuff with him because he synergizes with tech. So if you just do his Iron Man suit, his tower gets back his suit, which is great. It's a great internal synergy. And then also you can also do a repurpose build and get back your energy generator, or you do a repurpose build and get rid of your armor and just do that, because you have plenty of extra tech upgrades. Or you can, the game of making sure you always spend a double before you activate Pepper to get the double resources off her is super fun. He just has a bunch of really cool cards, and he's good. Once you get the suit built, you can just dump resources into stuff, and you can just do a lot of stuff for free. It's just cool. Also, side note, I don't know if anyone's ever seen me play Iron Man at the con, but I like to build a little stick figure out of the armor, which I get a kick out of every time.
Every time you put his hands right there.
His little tiny hands.
There's somebody who printed cards that take the shape of Iron Man when you put the suit together too. I saw that, custom cards. Iron Man is one famously that I didn't play for the first 5 years. I played Iron Man for the first time last year. You played him a ton early on when we played 2-player games, and I just didn't really ever feel the need because I had seen him played so much. Same with Drax. I'd seen Drax played 100 times, and I just didn't feel the need to do it myself. So Drax I played for the first time last year too. But Iron Man, I built an Iron Man deck for the Con of Heroes this year. It was an all alter ego deck,
which I played, and it was very fun.
That deck is super fun.
It's super fun and pretty good too.
It's meant to be
surprisingly
kind of
good,
but it worked out well. Yeah. Anyway, so I know this has gone on a long time. We talked about these for a long time, but these are fun lists to talk about, to see the community. I'd love to hear from you all. Leave a comment down below if you're on YouTube, what's the biggest one that jumps out to you, either on our list or on the community list. And, tell us where we're wrong, tell us where we're right, or hit me on Discord or winninghandpodcast@gmail.com. You can hit me there and tell me all your opinions about what we just said. Let's move into the card of the day, Lazy Titan, because we have bounced around it long enough. Let's get into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm prepared. My body is ready.
The card of the day, I'm going to share it. Would you like to read it to our listeners so they may also enjoy this beautiful card of the day? Here it is on the screen. Will you please take it away, Lazy Titan?
The card of the day is a 4-cost protection ally rogue or Anna Marie. 2/2 with 1 consequential each. 3 health, the X-Men trait, and produces a physical resource. Comes from the Nightcrawler pack. With the action, deal 1 damage to another friendly character. Until the end of the round, Rogue gains each of that character's traits and adds that character's printed thwart and attack to her matching powers once per round.
Okay. It's a physical resource if you choose to spend it. There's no flavor text. Just point that out right off the bat.
No flavor text, but I will give this one a pass because there is a gigantic text box.
That's true. There's actually a lot of text in there.
There's not like a glaring gap in this card where flavor text should be, as like some of the other cards are. But there's a lot of words on this card, so I'll let it slide.
That's fair. We should talk about the art in this card. The art comes from Excalibur Volume 4, Number 7 from 2020. It's comic art. Well, let's start with the art then. What do you think about this art, Lazy Titan? How do you feel about Rogue?
I think it's good art for an ally. It's just a kind of blue background. I'm assuming like a night sky. Rogue flying. So we just get it's basically just a full shot of Rogue. She's kind of flying in the classic kind of Superman pose, arms out. She's popping a little bit over her name tag, so she's kind of coming out of the card. It's good. It's just a cool picture of Rogue. She's got her signature little white hair in the front, and there's no like confusion as to whose card this is. It's a very clear Rogue card. If you took the name off this, you'd still know it's Rogue. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. The green and yellow suit, and I think is a cool looking suit. The yellow gloves, kind of green and yellow,
especially with the green card.
That's true. It matches the card, and then the little jacket that she wears, kind of as well, is very Rogue, right? Sort of kind of trademark coat. It's one of her cards, I think, as a hero. Yeah, I think this is just Rogue. I think it does the job. It's kind of flying at the camera, no distracting background. I think this just like, if the job was explain Rogue on a card, like, you've shown it, right? You show her some of her powers, she's flying. It shows the picture of her. I think this works really well. Really nothing much to add about that. I think that kind of just covers it, right?
It's good. Some allies can either be too busy or too much of the same color to like kind of blend in. Like Bug comes to mind. Bug has kind of a giant red background on a red card. It's kind of hard to like read sometimes. Whereas this is just like nice, kind of cool blue background, just even color. It has a little bit of a gradient. But just doesn't distract, but kind of separates her from the card, but still the colors match. It's just
and she's like big. It's not too small. Like, I agree with you. Bug is a good call out. Like, the art is a little busy.
Small,
Bug's a little small, and like, I don't really know what Bug looks like anyway, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, this is just very clear.
It's not the best art in the game, but it is Rogue for sure.
It is Rogue. Okay, thematically, does Rogue fit in protection? Does this represent her powers? Like, how do we feel about the theme of this card?
I think it represents her powers pretty well. Rogue, I feel like, is a pretty famous X-Men. She's obviously one of like the big X-Men names. I don't know if she's like quite like a household name like Superman or something, but she's if you know a little bit about X-Men, you probably know about Rogue and you know what her powers do. And I think this captures it pretty well. Hurts someone else a little bit to gain all their abilities. To get her powers. That's her whole thing. I don't know if it necessarily feels like a protection card. I can see the argument, but to me, it almost feels like an aggression card of like, hurt yourself to get more value, but I can see it.
I think, to me, I don't know if it fits in any like aspect. It doesn't feel like a protection, doesn't feel like aggression, because it could be attacking, it could be thwarting. It doesn't feel leadership. Like, it kind of feels aspect agnostic. I guess it could have been a basic card. I'm glad it's not. There's enough basic allies.
For sure, and this is quite a good ally.
Aspect, like, I don't know. I guess it could have fit really anywhere. It doesn't do anything protection-y to me. Protection is about readying and defending and healing. This doesn't really do any of those things.
Only thing I can see is because she does damage, it like allows for healing. I don't know.
I don't know, but it can hurt anybody. So, yeah, the aspect, I'm not sure. I do feel like the power set is represented pretty well, right? She's got beefy stats. Like, she is pretty powerful, I think. 2/2 is just really strong for an ally.
Pretty good.
And then
3 health is good too.
Has X-Men trait, 3 health, and then has a pretty insane ability. which is why she costs 4, because 4 is a lot to spend for an ally. And generally, when we talk about 4-cost allies, you're often talking about allies that you're kind of building around, right? You're talking about
They're going to stick around for a while.
Rogue, right. Undo. They're going to be around for a while. You're going to get all the value out of them. You might often Voltron them to some degree or heal them to keep them around, because 4 is a lot to spend. So with that segue, let's jump into the power of Rogue. I think I kind of spoiled it already. I think this is a really strong ally. I do think you have to build around it. Like, you can't just slap Rogue into any deck. It's not one of those cards. It's not ready for a fight, which, you're building a green deck and you've got 39, you don't know what to throw in, slap in, ready for a fight, you'll be fine.
I disagree. I think you could throw this in any deck. Every hero has either 2 attack or 2 thwart. And I think deal yourself 1 damage to have Rogue thwart for 4 or attack for 4 is pretty good. It's not like exceptional, but that's pretty good. Bare minimum. This is plain ally, take 3 damage, thwart for 12. It's pretty good.
Bad. That's not bad. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right. So are you telling me this is so strong it goes into any deck now?
I think it could. I wouldn't put it in a deck. It's an ally, and it costs 4. But I don't think it's like a necessarily required build around card, whereas like Iron Man kind of is. Iron Man is pretty bleh unless you lean into his ability of reducing the cost of those upgrades you're putting on him.
That's true.
But I think Rogue has more versatility there, but I do think she should be built around.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk at the end of this discussion with the deck that I built for today's episode. I built a deck maybe 6 months ago around this ally as well. And I can link it, or if I remember, or someone can check it out. You just go to Marvel CDB and look up my name and you'll find it in there. It's a vision deck, surprise, surprise, but it was called The Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, and it was built around Rogue and Protector, and using Rogue and Protector to interact. So this episode isn't about this deck, but just an idea for a combo. So I built the deck, and so Protector is a 4-cost, 1 thwart 3 attack, I believe, ally who you can spend a mental resource to prevent 1 damage to Protector. So basically you get them both into play. Rogue damages Protector for 1 to take 3 attack, and her traits, which include Android and Avenger. And then you prevent that damage, with Vision's gem or Quinn Carrier, some wild resource, you can prevent the damage to Protector. So Protector can stay in the play forever. Then once Rogue has the X-Men, Android, and Avenger traits, you can use Game Time, if you put a training upgrade on her, to ready Rogue and heal her. Reboot heals and readies Rogue as well.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And also
Mightiest Heroes,
ready her as well.
You can exhaust Protector to ready Rogue. So there was like 9 different cards in there to ready Rogues. The idea was you get them both into play. Rogue gets 5 attack, and then bam, bam, bam. Surely there are more efficient ways to do all that damage. Yes, I know. I hear you saying that already. But boom, guy, couldn't I just play an event? Yes, you could. That's not the point. The point is to build a stupid combo that doesn't make any sense. And I did it, and it was fun. Decks like that is my point. That, you're going to build a deck that really leans into this ability. Just don't think, I think if you're just slapping a 4-cost ally into any deck, you can find other ones. There are certainly better ones than this.
For sure.
But it's not a bad one. So for me, it's definitely not one you would just slap in. If I need that 40th card, even among the 4-cost allies, I'm taking Colossus because he got toughness. I'm taking Nick Fury because he draws me cards. There's other ones I would pick. But if you build around it, I think this has a crazy, crazy potential.
I think, honestly, the more interesting part of this card is that it steals traits. That is a thing that Rogue, the hero, does as well, which is very, very few things do that. And Rogue as a hero also unlocks a lot of combos with that. If in any multiplayer game or with any ally, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff like Guardians and the Avenger stuff and Mystics, all that opens up. And this Rogue also opens up all those avenues. So she, like you said, she can be an Android and get rebooted. She can be an Avenger, First Mightiest Heroes. She can be a Guardian. She can do all this insane combo stuff. So you can make her a Guardian and give her an Energy Spear. You can then make her an Avenger and give her a Sky Cycle. You can do whatever you want. And then also, she does just have the best trait in the game, X-Men, and you can also put all the dope X-Men stuff on her already. You have Game Time, you have the Game Time, you have the Mansion that you can use to heal her if you flip down. You have the
training upgrades you can put on.
Training upgrades you can put on here. You have Danger Room to make sure you find it. You have Cerebro to make sure you find her. It's just a very good set of traits. It's a very good set of, like, a suite of cards. You have Utopia to make sure you can have more allies and ready something when she comes in, or ready her when you play a different ally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just very strong.
Listeners, you heard Lazy Titan say X-Men is the strongest trait in the game. I think I don't appreciate you besmirching Space Knight in this manner. Space Knight is.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to disrespect Gamma like that.
Yeah. No, we're talking about Space Knight, okay? I don't care about Gamma. Don't disrespect Space Knight like that. Also, Android. Come on, don't disrespect Android like that.
Android's whack. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Okay.
Get out of here. That's whack.
So this is, to me, if I'm including this in a deck, it is one I'm building around.
Mm-hmm.
Almost exclusively. I can't imagine myself putting this into a deck that I'm not, like, building around this card in some way.
You can give her Space Knight.
You can give her Space Knight.
You can have 2 Space Knights out there.
Literally 200% of the Space Knights in the game.
Double the amount of Space Knights in the game.
Yes.
Crazy.
I mean,
huge.
Come on.
Massive.
That is bigly. No, I think it's fun. I mean, you can put in a Magneto deck who has a 2/2, but he gets extra boost every turn. Like, there's tons of different ways to
just put in this in baseline. You put this Magneto with all his stuff out, then she can thwart for 5. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, at first glance, this seems like a bad inclusion in a Vision deck because it does say that characters' printed powers. So any temporary upgrades. So if you put it in Star-Lord and you do, I don't know, Blaze of Glory or whatever, that's not included here. Any temporary upgrade in stats do not count as printed. So it's terrible to use on Vision because you get you get 2 thwart, but you get 0 attack. Anyway, also with Phoenix, if you put this in a Phoenix deck, right, it does say printed. So even if she goes unleashed and her stats effectively flip,
they don't
5. Flip printed. It's still just the
crazy.
Thwart. Okay, so we have all that. Do you think this is a staple card in protection? Will this become a staple card in protection?
I think it'll become a niche archetype. I think a rogue deck will become a niche archetype. Look at the Yondu deck.
She's better than Yondu.
For sure she's better than Yondu, 100%. Yeah. But the Yondu deck is kind of the classic Voltron build of, like, wow, he doesn't take consequential, and then you do the whole thing. Like that deck of yore, it'll pop up over and over again. Every time there's a new trait or a new hero or a new card that cares about traits, you'll see a rogue deck. Every time there's a new upgrade for allies, you'll see a rogue deck. And it'll be the flavors of the same idea of give rogue cool traits or boost her stats with insane things and then go again. That's fun, and I think that's interesting, and it opens a lot of doors for a lot of combos. I'm sure someone like Josaru, who we mentioned earlier, will come up with something insane to do with this card. Somehow figure out how to make it Wakanda or whatever, and then do a Dora Milaje thing, or I don't know, do some crazy thing. And I think that's fun. I think that's great for game.
Quick tangent for the listeners. You mentioned Yondu. Do you know that the first deck I ever published on Marvel CDB was built around Yondu?
I do.
It was called Into the Wild Blue Yondu. And I don't think it got any likes, but it was the first published deck. And that was back when we first discovered that he had no consequential. I remember that moment that we were, like, going through cards and building decks one day. And we were like, oh my gosh, forever.
You can do it forever. And he's got range built in.
Ranged.
And you got range built in. And then you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. You can do with Spider-Woman. You can put the energy spear on him. And then Yondu's not great. No, Yondu's not good.
Sidearm, energy spear, you can beef him up.
Now he's probably better. But you can sidearm him. You can energy spear him. You can boot camp him. If you're playing Spider-Woman, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. If you're playing Spider-Woman, you can probably just do Captain Marvel and it'd probably be better. But it's fine.
Yeah.
You're doing Yondu. And then we discovered the Iron Man deck where you can call for aid and find Iron Man, and then you can play Guardians of the Galaxy with Star-Lord and put all the stuff on him. Yondu he's a pioneer. He's the Jerry West of Voltron decks.
That is a deep cut. You're putting Yondu on the logo. I appreciate that.
I'm putting Yondu on the logo. I think Yondu's on the logo. I think he's not the best at what he does, but he's an icon.
Having been called the Chuck of this podcast, definitely can dig with a Jerry West reference. So thank you for that. Speaking of Jerry West, though, let's move into the fun. This is the last category before we go into final thoughts. How fun is Rogue?
I think Rogue is pretty fun. She opens up a lot of doors. So many doors, actually, that I didn't build a deck for this episode because I couldn't think of one to do. because every time I thought of one, I was like, oh, I'll do
Frozen.
this. And I just thought of another one. And then it was just, I kept flip-flopping back and forth, and I couldn't finally decide. And then now it's the day to record, and I don't have one. But I was thinking about Avengers stuff and Guardian stuff, and you could double down on X-Men stuff with Cyclops, and you can do champion stuff. Make her go for champions.
Yeah.
She can ready a million times and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Those
All
are
that
good. Go
stuff
for champions.
you can do. I think it's a fun card. I think it opens up deck building opportunities that are unique, which I think is what big cards should do. In most cases, a big card with a unique effect should create an archetype around itself. And I think this card does that.
I love niche cards like this. Another one that I think is expensive and niche is Warpath, and I think a lot of people in the community still haven't quite figured out how to nail Warpath. It feels like there's something there,
For sure.
but I just can't always figure out why it's more valuable to play an event in the villain phase rather than just wait 2 more actions and play it on my phase. Like, what's the hoops to jump through to do that? I think it's coming. I'll get there. If someone's got a cool Warpath deck, hit me up. Let me know.
I've seen a cool
Warpath
Warpath deck
@gmail.com.
at the con. Somebody did.
That's true.
Somebody played Miles, did Face the Past to get Prowler out there, because Prowler's not that bad. You pin down the Prowler, and then Warpath would just defend Prowler, and he would play an event on the villain's turn every time, which was cool. I don't know why. Why was it different? Not sure.
Shout out friend of the show, Bendrix. You were on the podcast a long time ago. That was your deck. We played in that game.
It was interesting.
It's interesting.
I don't think that was the solution. It did something cool, but it didn't
I think
solve
there's something
it for me.
with Warpath
There's something
that could be
there.
cracked.
I think
but
you could do
we
a
haven't
similar
gotten
thing with Loki and Thor, where you just pin him down, because I know that's a deck that's popular. I don't know. There's something there.
I think this card is fun. It often feels like the last cog in the machine, like Rogue, to some extent. Like, at least the way my brain and deck building works, like I'm building this complex machinery, like that nonsense Protector deck. Protector, by the way, is a card that nobody plays. But this whole thing, I'm spinning this whole Rube Goldberg machine, and then what I get in the end is 2 damage, and I avoid consequential or whatever. But hey, it was fun. So to me, it often feels like the last piece rather than watch out, I'm slapping down this card, whatever. So I think it's fun, but it feels more like machinery than it does just pure joy for me. That's just Boom Guy. But I like this card quite a bit. So speaking of that, let's get into final thoughts. So Lazy Titan, do you have final thoughts on Rogue? I would like you to go first, please. For Rogue.
Final thoughts on Rogue. First thing, before I forget, is a combo I thought of. Because every time I look at this card, it says traits. So I keep thinking of Strength and Diversity, which is a awesome card. Side note, Strength and Diversity is great, especially in 1 and 2 player. Incredible.
Yes.
Rogue can get traits. So I was thinking, but if you deal damage to a friendly character, it's already a trait that mattered for Strength and Diversity.
Yeah, it's already in play.
So now I'm thinking, steal a minion with something like Karma or Jean Grey's thing that's now a friendly character, hit it for a damage. Now you have dumb traits although you have Brute and Elite then, but you already had it because it's a friendly character now. I don't know.
Exactly.
We're working on it. We're cooking. We'll figure it out.
This is real time here.
Real time here. We just watched me think an idea is bad in real time. Anyway.
I love it. I'm
Rogue
not cutting it.
Is interesting. She does the whole archetype of the Rogue deck really well without being broken. This is sort of a deck-defining card in the same way that something like, she's not in the same level, obviously, but as Hone Technique kind of defines a style of deck you're playing, and that card's ridiculous. Rogue just kind of builds her own archetype, but feels very fair. I have not seen anything done so far where you build something with Rogue that you could not achieve with anything else, and you're like, wow, what is this nonsense? This is crazy. But you can dwarf for 15 in a turn. It's pretty good. Can it be done other ways? Absolutely. But it's cool, and it can be done, and it's different for protection for sure. Which also synergizes with readying, which synergizes with her.
Yeah, 100%. So is there a score in there somewhere?
I will give Rogue an 8. I think she's fun.
Okay.
I think the art is good. The theming is great. And I think it is an interesting deck building challenge. And I think people should try it out.
Okay. Well, I will just come right in from the top and say it's a 6.5 for me. I think if 5 is right in the middle, I think this is 6.5. I think Rogue is a better than average card. 4 costs is a lot. It often can lead to a lot of other building up. Like you said, you could just play it for 4, hit yourself 3 times, and if you just have 2 in a stat, you're doing pretty well. But you can't block with it, or then this is like other things. I don't know. It takes up an ally slot. I just think it's a good card. It is a card that I think you kind of have to build around. Like you can't just slap it in a deck and provides you good value. Just because the cost, like you said, even if that value is there, right? You just hit yourself and thwart for 4, hit yourself, thwart for 4, hit yourself, thwart for 4. That's good, but it's over 3 turns, and it just like kills one entire turn. Something else I can do because I spent my entire hand to play this. So
I think in heroes like Jean Grey, where you can get to 5, or like other things where you can get to special things.
I don't think that's wrong. But I think it's difficult,
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult, but I think, she's interesting.
I think you could do a gunboat diplomacy deck with this, right? You could put it in
sure.
Cyclops, and then you're going to get the Bush's stats. You got this different ways to do it, and I think you'd want to get that, or mass attack, right? You want to get that value off of her, but then also some other value if you can. I think it's solid. 6.5 for me. It's not amazing. It's a card I do use, but it, for me, has limited applications. That's where I land on it. I think we're both pretty positive on this. I do think we went through it a little bit quickly, listeners, but it is an ally. I think there's not a ton to say in terms of other stuff, but
we don't need another Lazy Titan ally rant. Okay,
we do.
Let's not.
The people always
hold
want
me
that,
back.
but this is somebody stop me. This has been a somewhat long episode. I'm going to stop sharing the card of the day because now I would like us to go to talk about the deck. So this has been something that we started a couple episodes ago, where I build and test and play and then bring a deck to share featuring this card of the day. And this has been popular. People have written in and said they appreciate that this is something that we do to go with the card now. So we're going to keep doing it, but we did move it to the end of the episode. So it's after the discussion on the card when everybody remembers what card we're talking about. So let me share this screen here. I will say also, this is the 3rd episode we've done this, 4th episode we've done this now.
3rd or 4th?
4th. I did the first one with Deadpool, then I did the second one with Captain Marvel, then I did Magneto, and now I'm doing Adam Warlock. So I'm pushing myself. This is for me as much as it is for you. I'm pushing myself to play and build with heroes that I don't normally build with, using the card of the day specifically. So today I used Adam Warlock. He's a hero I don't play a ton of, but I want to push myself so I don't just build with, I could build this with Captain America or Vision every time. But I'm pushing myself to be a better deck builder and just like try something different. You never know when you're going to stumble on some magic. So that's why I'm choosing some of these heroes. It's not to be the best combo. Like, surely you could do it better. That's all.
Speaking of magic, Adam Warlock.
Speaking of magic, you should start a podcast with segue skills like that. Here we are. This deck is called Adam's Excellent Adventure. The idea originally was to put Rogue into play, and then since I have access to all 4 aspects, to put all of the training upgrades, attack training, danger room training, mission training, and protective training on Rogue and get her to be this behemoth and go crazy. Unfortunately, as I'm hovering over it, and you can see right now,
once you read the cards, that fell
max
apart
1
fast.
training upgrade per play. That was my original idea. That was the core. So I was like, okay, cool. I have Adam Warlock. So then I sat down, and then I looked at the cards, because it was just in my head. And then I was like, okay, well, it's only 1 training upgrade per play. So I was okay. Well, then what's a way I can do this? I still have Danger Room and Rogue, and I put some other kind of beefy allies in here, and the idea is that you'll just put whatever upgrade you want on Rogue. So if you need to be thwarting, if you need to be attacking, whatever you want to do, just put it on Rogue. And then they're all X-Men and X-Force allies, so you're going to use the rest of them on whichever one comes in next, right? So if Cable's the first one you grab, you just grab Mission Training and slap it on him. If Wolverine's the first one, you grab whatever. So it's meant to use all those upgrades. And then everything else, welcome aboard, just helps you pay for those allies. Summoning spell helps you pay for allies. And then it has the X-Force and X-Men cards. So combine forces, exhaust characters, defeat an elite minion. Gunboat diplomacy, as you talked about, exhausts 1 of each.
Very good with Rogue.
Yeah. Mutant Mayhem picks them up and puts them back down again to heal them or get their interplay effects. And then, of course, Serve and Protect is the last one. You just exhaust them to give them tough cards and prevent threat. And Children of the Atom gives all of them every X keyword, so they all can exhaust whichever ones you have. So,
and then also all the spells that Adam came with.
Of course,
'cause they're all good.
Adam has all the good spells, and then Welcome Aboard, which is an awesome Guardian card. So there's a lot of synergy here. I did play it a bunch. It does work. Is it going to be the best deck ever? No, but I don't know if any Adam Warlock deck are the best deck ever. But it was fun. It focuses on Rogue without being super dependent on Rogue. So if she doesn't come into play or gets discarded early somehow, you still have Wolverine and Cable and Dazzler, and they can do a ton of work. So that is the deck of the day. I will publish this on the day the episode comes out. So if you are listening or watching this, you can go check out Adam's Excellent Adventure. And as always, if people build their own decks around Rogue, please share them with me. Previous iterations of this I have posted in the description of the deck, the other decks. So I will just go and show some examples of that. So if you're new here, for example, the last one I did, I'll show you on the screen now. This is episode 70, with the deck I called the Air up there, which is the Magneto deck around the card of the day, which was Air Supremacy. So I build the deck. Anyway, I have a deck description and all that kind of stuff, but here's what I wanted to show off. Here are all the other people who submitted decks either on Discord or they sent them to me in emails or whatever, and tagged me. So here's all the decks. So if you are listening to this and you see this Adam Warlock deck, you can go into the description and look at all the other decks that people submitted. So for example, Lazy Titan submitted one. Here's that. And you can look up at every other person's decks. And they all have their own descriptions. So they're really meant to collect everybody's decks for the episode. So, you like my deck or you don't like my deck, but you can go and find all these other ones, which I think is cool. So it becomes like a collection. So, and if you look at, my thing on Marvel CDB, if you just sort by date, they're all pretty recent. So like here's the episode 70, the Magneto one. Here's episode 68, episode 69. It's the same thing. So if ever you are listening to these later on the road, if you're not listening to them when they release in a year from now, you'll be like, oh, that's cool. You can go through and go back to episode 68, which is where we started it, and see all the decks that people submitted for that card. And that might give you more ideas, right? My idea was to build Great Responsibility with Deadpool. But, lack of subtlety, his idea was to build it around Hulk, and Solo Marvel Champion build it around Captain America. So it's really fun to see all the different ways people build these decks, how creative they get, how they build them with what heroes. So I will stop sharing there. So just to say, this is kind of a cool community project that I'm just trying to collect decks and show off people's cool decks. So Lazy Titan, anything else to add to that?
Not really. Go build a Rogue deck and do it better than I did.
Please build a deck around Rogue, and they've been increasing week over week. So please send in your decks. I love seeing what everybody does and commenting on them and liking them and linking them for other people to find. So if you share a deck and I put in the description, whoever's listening to this might go and see your deck and have a cool experience with it. This is what it's all about. So
anybody who is doing this, build it with a hero that you don't play a lot.
Yeah, or
build it with a hero who's got dust in the box. Why not?
That's what I do.
Do it.
I try to challenge myself because I just like to try different things, and I have, deck ADHD anyway. So even if the deck is awesome, I will just play it a few times and put it away because I
build it with something that's cool. I try to think of a cool combo and see who can do it best. That's how my Nova deck came around. I actually played that deck as well. That's actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool Nova deck. Made me reminded me why I like Nova so much. But yeah, go build a fun deck and do that all good stuff.
And just before we go here, I will say that I used Adam Warlock, who in my rankings was the number 39 hero in my rankings. 39, I will say. I'm going to look at Lazy Titan's rankings here.
He was 57 for me.
Number 39. Lazy Titan, do you know who your 39th hero is?
I'm looking at it right now, but I wouldn't have guessed it off the top of my head. Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Interesting.
I would not have guessed off the top of my head that was my 39th. Right above Vision at 42.
Rude. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us for this rather lengthy episode. I know this is a lot longer than we normally do, but hopefully you enjoyed the discussion around the community rankings and our rankings, and then the discussion on the card of the day and everything else. As always, I hope you had a great time. I hope you join us next time. So if you're listening to this in real time, or later down the road, the next episode we are doing a deep dive. So a deep dive is what we call when we do weekly episodes rather than bi-weekly for a whole month. So we'll do 4 episodes on one topic. In this case, it is a character. We are talking about She-Hulk, the hero. So we are going to start episode 72 with She-Hulk's hero card, and we're going to get into some lore and hear about She-Hulk from a guest we have who's great with the comics lore. And then we're going to talk about her alter ego and hero card. And then the next 3 episodes are going to be 3 other of her identity-specific cards that we think kind of round out the hero. So we'll deep dive into 3 other cards throughout the month. So if you like She-Hulk or if you don't like She-Hulk, join us as we go deep into She-Hulk. We have a guest for each different one. So we're going to have a lot of guests this season 3 of the podcast, since we lost our permanent host. A lot of guests. So join us and we will go deep on She-Hulk. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us this long episode. I will see you on the next episode. Thank you and bye, everybody.
Later.